World leaders gathered in New York this week to take part in this year's United Nations General Assembly and seek solutions to end global conflicts and crises in the Middle East and Ukraine. So for more on this, we have our foreign affairs correspondent Bae Eun-ji in the studio. Welcome back, Eun-ji.
Thanks for having me.
Thank you for your time. So Eun-ji, as mentioned earlier, the UN General Assembly took place in New York this week. So tell us some of the key takeaways from the event.
As widely expected, conflicts in Lebanon and conflicts between Russia and Ukraine were on top of the agenda. UN Secretary-General Antonio Guterres told the UN General Assembly on Tuesday that the world cannot afford Lebanon to become another Gaza. He called the conflict in Ukraine a war that was spreading with no signs of letting up, with civilians paying the price, and condemned the acts of terror committed by Hamas.
Geopolitical divisions keep deepening. The planet keeps heating. Wars rage with no clue how they will end. And nuclear posturing and new weapons cast a dark shadow. We are edging towards the unimaginable.
And with 4 months left in office, U.S. President Joe Biden also gave his final address to world leaders, noting that he's been working with Egypt and Qatar to put forward a ceasefire and hostage release deal. He reiterated his call for the relevant parties to agree to terms, saying it was time to end the war.
A full-scale war is not in anyone's interest. Even if the situation has escalated, a diplomatic solution is still possible.
But Biden did not mention North Korea in this year's speech, as opposed to his previous 3 addresses to the General Assembly from 2021 to 2023. Pundits suggest that this may be because it's less likely that there could be major progress on this matter during his remaining term in office.
Right, and while Biden gave his final speech as U.S. president, the new Iranian president gave his first.
Right. In his first UN speech, the new Iranian leader, who was elected in July, said his country does not want war. He also accused Israel of committing what he called genocide in Gaza and crimes against humanity by attacking schools, hospitals, and homes.
The Islamic Republic of Iran seeks to safeguard its own security, not to create insecurity for others. We want peace for all and seek no war or quarrel with anyone.
And also in New York, this week, the top diplomats of Seoul, Washington, and Tokyo also met together, right?
That's right. South Korea's Foreign Minister Cho Tae-yeol and his Japanese and American counterparts, Yoko Kamikawa and Antony Blinken, met on the sidelines of the UN General Assembly on Monday. They vowed to continue to cooperate regardless of the upcoming leadership changes in the U.S. and Japan.
We have political transitions in Japan, in the United States. But this trilat, irrespective of those transitions, will remain vital to the future of all 3 of our countries, a future that we are working to shape together.
This comes as the U.S. presidential election is set to take place in November, and as Japan's ruling Liberal Democratic Party will also elect a new leader to become the country's prime minister. And they also addressed issues on North Korea, sharing concerns about the regime's recently unveiled uranium enrichment facility and new ICBM missile launcher. They agreed to firmly respond to all kinds of provocations from the North and work together on urging the regime to abide by UN Security Council resolutions.
And I hear they will also be working on a trilateral summit between their leaders, right?
Right. The 3 officials also agreed to pursue efforts to hold a summit between their leaders before the end of this year. They will also be working to establish a trilateral secretariat aimed at institutionalizing the 3-way partnership.
During a meeting between the vice ministers of South Korea, the US, and Japan last May, the 3 countries agreed to promote a mechanism to further institutionalize cooperation. In line with this, the 3 countries are currently engaging in discussions to cooperate on establishing a secretariat.
The 3 countries have been gaining momentum and strengthening their partnership, especially after the historic Camp David summit in August last year, the first standalone summit between them.
Right, so we'll have to see whether this summit will be able to take place within this year. Thank you for your time, Eun-ji, today. We really appreciate it.
My pleasure.